Welcome everyone to this video. We're going to look at how you can get the Golden Tree Sentinel armor set, one that's hidden in the game. Okay, so to start with, we need to head from where we begin, the first step, all the way around through Lernia and the Gatetown Bridge, past Altus Plateau, or whatever you call that thing. On the inside of this wall here, we want to work his way around to the left and down until we get to Ariza's Hero Grave. From here, we need to turn right down the steps, and we're going to engage into the little chariot run that usually comes up here. So as you head down, you'll see it spark on its own, and if you get contacted by that at whatever level you are, you will die. Once that goes past, quickly jump out and run, and head down to the bottom here where it's lit up. This golden ring here, you can see I'm running over, that comes significant a little bit later on. Next, we want to wait until this thing turns round and then run and sprint right up behind it. Make sure you get close to this one, guys, otherwise this timing will be very difficult to make. Following on from that, quickly back out and round and into the right-hand side here. This is a bit of a safe zone. There's no skeletons or anything like that that's going to attack you. And then again, once this one passes you by, just drop into this little centre here. A small thing of note at this point, there is a stone sword key here, so make sure you collect that because that will become important later on. Once that's passed, we'll head down again, straight down the hill, and because of these two working together in the opposite direction, very simple, just cross over to the left hand side, run down the hill, you'll see the one pass you on the right hand side, that chariot will stop, spin, and then obviously head over to the right hand side to prevent being crushed from the one on the left. From here we just want to dress back slightly so this chariot can spin and get out of our way. Then move up and turn left here where this body is. Line yourself up with the body and carefully drop off. Now a little tip for you at this moment in time is you get your arrow. So if we head to equipment and equip an arrow to our inventory, when we zoom in it actually helps us identify where we're going to walk. So not going to fall off basically. So if we walk forward nice and steady, and we'll drop off directly on the line. Keep repeating that same process in order to collect the other items along the route, the holy grease on this occasion, and then we want to spin back round and utilise it again just to move forward down the beam without falling off. Once we've moved and happy with where we want to stand, obviously we're going to drop down to the next beam below. So once you lined that up, have a little drop down, and you will see that you need to spin around on this occasion. So turn around, face the opposite way. People have left a few of these message barks just to give you a little aid. I don't use that. We'll speed this process up a little bit so it's not too long. And on your right hand side you will then see an enemy. Now a really good way of dealing with these is just sitting on the beam and equipping some arrows. In this case, all you literally do is shoot the guy. So we'll fast forward the shooting the guy because what's the point in risking your health? Line up to the drop and off we get. Once you do get here, the two more of the enemies will appear. All you need to do is simply turn around, jump back onto the beam like so, spin back around and come, we'll just repeat the process that we just did. Shoot these two nice and quickly on fast forward, losing no health whatsoever, and then forwards again. Once we've killed those two, move forward slightly. You'll see on your left hand side this is the tunnel you want to take. The reason behind that is because there is another enemy just in the left hand corner, hidden there, and he will attack you. Once you finish killing him, spin round and start heading down the tunnel. Here you will again be greeted with yet another enemy, and there we are. So when this enemy appears, finish that one off, and once you've completed doing that, feel free to collect your items. One of these is a Vulgar Militia Ashes, which I haven't actually used yet. But anyway, as you spin around, you'll see these ladders here. Now, to save you guys some time, I've actually nipped up to these ladders and had a look to see what's actually there. There isn't anything really of value, apart from this little flower. Feel free to collect that flower, as it can be used for crafting items. On this occasion, it is the Grave Violet. But instead, what we actually want to do is head back down the tunnel from whence we came, bang a left and back to those beams. When we arrive at those beams, we're going to utilise the same tactics that we did earlier by using our bow and arrow, lining that up nice and straight in order to jump onto the beam without falling off, because if we fall off, guys, we have to repeat the entire process. Let's just speed that process up now so we don't waste anyone's time, and once we are happy, we drop down and you will see an enemy across from you. Again, this time it's a skeleton, so we'll take this guy out at range, as there is literally no point in walking up to him and risking battling him at close range and falling off or dying and having to repeat the entire process again. Once we've done that, you will see that there is another ladder here. All we need to do is, someone's obviously left a note there as well to help you out, but it's quite obvious. Head up that ladder and along the corridor or the tunnel. The big flash is just a chariot going overhead, so don't worry about that. Just keep moving forwards. Once that chariot goes down again, what you want to do is run out and left and up. And when you get to the top, quickly bang a right and you'll see this tunnel, and you'll also see this beam. I'm not entirely certain what it's called, but there is fire coming out the left. It'll only come out of the left at this moment until you give it a quick whack. And then that entire beam will just shoot up into the air. Feel free to collect this grave glowwort whilst you're here. And once that beam has settled to the top, it will now start firing into where you've just run from. Now that the beam is at the top, it should interrupt the golden circle process. The golden circles that we ran over earlier that generate the actual chariots themselves, they will now destroy the chariots. So all we need to do is allow ourselves to die and start off at the beginning, run that process again. They will create in the first instance, just keep running past them, do exactly the same as we did before. Once they've gone past and we are happy that we've got to this stage, you'll see that they start destroying themselves on these golden circles, and you run past this one, the other one behind you will destroy, and at this moment you'll get the Ash of War Holy Ground, the Tree Sentinel Helm, Tree Sentinel Armour, Tree Sentinel Gauntlets, and Tree Sentinel Greaves. Now that is the armour we were looking for, but before showing you that armour, we're going to prove that no other chariots are going to regenerate. As you can see, this one never turned up, and through these doors, this is how you access the bosses. So you simply enter through these doors, nice and steady. I don't know why they take so long, it's always a very dramatic entrance. And upon entering, there will be a couple more enemies down this stairwell. So we're going to make this video again a little bit more efficient by simply fast forwarding through these attacks. Now what I would say is do take note that once you've stabbed these guys or killed them, they are skeletons, but they will basically respawn. As you see, if you don't hit them whilst they're down, they'll just come back up. So make sure that white bit's gone and hit them until they are dead. Finally, you'll be left with the boss chamber. Now, I'm not going to show you what's actually through this door because I don't want to give you any spoilers. However, I can tell you it's pretty difficult, so make sure you level up. Now, what we'll do is head back to the armor that we collected earlier. So here it is, guys, the Golden Tree Sentinel armor. This is by far one of my favorite looking armors, and it's actually surprisingly strong. So not only does it look good, but it's also very useful. And when you look at it, it's probably the best I found in the game, at least early to mid game. So looking at the helmet then, we've got damage negation very high, fire, magic, lightning, the works. The helmet is the highest of all the helmets I've collected so far. And if we push over to the other ones, you can see that they're much less than the Tree Sentinel helmet itself. If we move over to the what do you call it, the chest area, the Tree Sentinel main body armor, it's again the highest out of everything. And a little trick for you, everything at the bottom is always the highest. Again, so if we go down here, we've got the Sentinel Gauntlets. Again, they're probably the best ones I've ever collected, very high. You do need to have a little bit more endurance in order to carry these. And finally, the Tree Sentinel Greaves, the shoes, also very high. Now remember that stone sword key we got earlier? Well, at the very main entrance there was this imp statue here. And all we're going to do is use the stone sword key to get into here, and I'll show you exactly what's behind it. First of all, there will be a couple of enemies to defeat. Always be aware that there might be enemies in there. But once you've happily defeated those two enemies and go and collect it, you will actually get yourself the Golden Epitaph. This is a weapon that looks pretty amazing, especially in conjunction with your body armor. Now this does in fact have its own unique skill, as you can see here. This is called Last Rites, so therefore it can't be used with an Ash of War. But if you have a look at the weapon itself, you can see that initially it seems to be quite low. Physical 85 plus 10, Holy is 85 plus 26, so it's very, very good against the death or dying, the skeletons, etc. With its current unique skill, the Last Rites, what it actually does is make it really effective against fighting against dead people or what have you. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video, guys, and how to go through it. If you have any questions or anything else, just leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.